Hey everyone, welcome back to the Elder Scrolls Online reading the Morrowind patch notes. So I'm just going to skim through here, basically through like the stuff that doesn't seem too interesting to me. Again, I'm sorry if anybody wanted me to read like this whole thing, because it's a lot, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't think is very necessary to read. So I'm just gonna skim through here. This is for the Imperial City. Oh, hello, what is this? Updated the Imperial City description. Okay, I guess you always need to be level 10 because it's technically in Cyrodiil where you have to be level 10 to enter, but apparently they didn't say that in the DLC description, which was kind of silly. Some Malakath armor, Shadows of the Hist. Just some animation changes, I think. Okay, I think I read this before, actually. I think I accidentally skimmed back a little bit. They did some art and animation changes. They fixed some texture issues, which is good because I was getting a lot of weird texture issues, especially in Cyrodiil, where just the ground and stuff would look really weird. So I'm hoping that kind of fixes it. I'm gonna say they fixed the Shadow Silk Goblin appearance, where you kind of like surfed on your mount and the mount would just kind of freeze. They fixed that, which is kind of disappointing because it was a funny bug. I don't know, I liked it, but whatever. Not a big deal, I guess. Fix something with the dye station. A lot of visual effects, audio, they fixed some issues. Okay, resource recovery changes. Let's see what they say, because I know they were going to do a lot of nerfs, I think, with resource recovery. So they said ESO has always been about fast-paced action with resource management playing a large role, which, you know, in the past year, you could basically have a lot of almost infinite sustain along with a lot of damage, so I think they are going to adjust that. As such, some significant changes to resource recovery are being made. In general, each of the changes falls into one of the four major categories. Restores based on the maximum resource pool. These abilities were simply too effective once you obtained a significant pool size. Cost reduction and recovery passives. Several of these passives were overperforming and have been adjusted. Interesting. Group-based buffs and synergies. Several of these abilities were near mandatory in in-game situations and have been adjusted. Does that mean that they've made them so they don't need to be mandatory? I'm curious. Resource spend and gain rates. Abilities that cost either too much or too little were adjusted to ensure that each class and build type are spending and gaining resources at roughly the same rate. Okay. So I wonder if that means they kind of... I know Magicka Dragon Knights, a lot of their skills, or all of them, are more expensive, so I wonder if they kind of balance that out to make it cheaper for DKs? I guess we'll see. Fixed tooltips. Okay, spelling, grammar, no one really cares about that. Synergy prompts will now display the icon. Fixed an issue where abilities and bonuses that allowed you to ignore movement speed penalty from sneak would stack, causing you to sneak at high speeds. Okay, I've seen that. Okay, here we go. Reduce the duration of the charge snare. 2.5 seconds from 0.75 seconds. And reduce the effectiveness of the charge snare to a 30% snare from a 50%. Wait, okay. Reduce the duration and strength of a... What is the charge snare? I mean, I guess that's good because I hate snares, so anything to make them less strong is a good thing in my opinion. Reduce the cooldown for being charged stamina or magicka to block an attack 2.25 seconds from 0.5 seconds. Reduce the cooldown. Due to how powerful block is, being able to near permanently block numerous attacks was posing significant balance issues. In PvP situations, this change will provide more counterplay against targets trying to block all of your attacks. Okay, that's a good thing, because perma blockers are definitely a problem in PvP. You can rapidly attack them in order to drain their stamina faster. Okay, I think that's a good thing. I'm happy with that. Ooh, sneak attacks no longer grant a bonus to critical damage when used against other players. Nice. Sneak attacks will continue to guarantee a critical strike and stun the target, and will also still grant a bonus to critical damage when used against monsters. Okay, so that's an example where they can balance PvP and PvE separately, so I don't see why they don't do that more often. Because, I mean, I kind of feel for PvEers. I know they blame PvP a lot, which I don't think it's always PvPers' fault, obviously, but they should kind of balance PvP and PvE separately a little bit. But that's interesting because sneak attacks are way overtuned. They're way too powerful. You can pretty much one-shot people when they are just running around, minding their own business. Okay, even though sneak attacks currently have a low critical damage bonus against players, then against monsters, they still allow you to burst players down in a matter of seconds without granting them enough time to react. Yeah, that's the major problem. Removing the removing the critical damage bonus against players grants victims of sneak attacks and more counterplay. Okay. See, I think it would have been good if they just took away the stun, because it's really the stun that gets you. Like, they do a massive amount of damage to you and then you can't do anything because you're stunned, but I guess it's a good start. Roll dodge now grants a 2-second immunity to immobilizations after the roll is complete. That is interesting. Roll dodge providing a brief immunity to roots should prevent situations where enemies are able to repeatedly cast root abilities to completely prevent you from moving. That's definitely interesting, especially for Magicka players. I mean, you can't roll dodge a lot as a Magicka build, but I think that immunity will definitely be a slight buff to Magicka builds. So I like that. I'm definitely interested to see how that plays out. Stamina abilities are now universally 15% cheaper than their Magicka counterparts, originally being 20%. Okay, this is like worded way weird. It makes it seem like it's a buff, but it's a nerf. So stamina abilities are going to cost a little bit more with this update, which I think is good because stamina is very powerful, so they should cost a little bit more, I think. Again, just my opinion. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but stamina is very powerful, so I think that's a good change. Okay, this includes class abilities that morph into stamina and also weapon skill lines that cost stamina. Okay. Experience boosting consumables such as crown, blah blah blah. Okay, I don't care about that. Buffs and debuffs. Fix an issue where consuming a potion of Magicka stamina or health would not correctly refresh the effect of. Okay, that's cool. Magicka minor Magicka steal reduces the amount of Magicka this debuff restores to the attacker to 300 Magicka from. Okay, so I guess that kind of has to do with the sustain and recovery nerf. So okay. I'll get over that. I don't really use minor Magicka steal actually, so it doesn't affect me really. Dragonite. Okay, now we're getting into the class changes. Ardent Flame Inferno reduced the cost of this ability and its morph by approximately 33%. Okay, Inferno. I'm trying to remember what Inferno is. Is that Deep Breath? Does that morph into Deep Breath? I don't play a Dragonite enough to remember that, but if it is, that's cool because again, Dragonite skills always cost more, so I think it's good that they're reducing the cost of their skills. Lava Whip reduced the cost of this ability and its more by approximately 10%. Okay, not bad. I think it could be a little more, but it's a good start. Earth and Heart Battle Roar. This passive ability now restores an equal amount of health, Magicka, and stamina when you use an ultimate ability, and the amounts are now based on your character level instead of your max resource. What? Why? This will be a buff for each particular resource if your maximum is below. Who the heck has below 26,000? And a reduction if it is above. Wow, so that's a nerf because I don't know anybody who plays with a maximum resource of 26,000. That's ridiculous. So it's basically a buff to lower level players. Am I calculating that correctly? Yeah, that's a nerf. That kind of sucks. Helping Hands. This passive ability now restores stamina based on your... Okay, so all of these are... It's been changed to your max level instead of your max amount of stamina or your max resource. That's ridiculous. Yeah, it's a buff if your stamina is below 19,000. Who the heck has that low resource? That's kind of ridiculous. Again, I'm not going to judge too quickly though, because you need to see how it plays out. You can't just read these and be like, oh, that sucks, or oh, that's great. You actually have to test it. Obsidian Shard. Fixed an issue where the friendly heal from this morph could be dodged. Okay, that's cool. Nightblade. Shadow. Shadow Cloak. Fixed an issue where the invisibility from this ability and its morphs was being broken by numerous abilities such as Reflective Light, Silver Shard, and Burning Talons. Okay, that's cool. So that kind of fixes Cloak a little bit, even though I think Cloak is powerful. I don't know. Cloak is a little powerful, but I guess it's not a big deal. I'm glad for the people that made a Nightblade that it's being fixed. And Shadow Image, Summon Shade Morph. Fix an issue where the pet summoned by this morph was not critically strike. Okay, whatever. I mean, that doesn't really do a lot of damage. I don't think anybody uses this skill for the damage. Siphoning. Leeching Strikes. I don't think anybody uses that morph. Does anybody use that morph? This morph now converts the ability into a stamina ability and causes your light and heavy attacks to restore stamina. Okay, that's kind of cool. So, I guess it's going to be used as a sustain skill for stamina Nightblades now. I'll have to see how that plays out. Siphoning Attacks. This morph now causes your light and heavy attacks to also restore magicka based on your character level. Based on your character level. Based on your character. Okay, I think that's a nerf. Siphoning Strikes. This ability now causes your light and heavy attack to restore health instead of, oh, that sucks, instead of magicka or stamina. So they pretty much just nerfed sap tanks, which, I mean, I might be wrong here, but I haven't used the sap tank since like 1.5. They used to be pretty awesome back then, but I think they've just completely like wrecked sap tanks. Increase the duration of this ability to 20 seconds. Yeah, whatever. That doesn't really do much. Yeah, this is a significant reduction to the magic and stamina restored by these abilities, but the addition of health restore should give Nightblades more healing. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Sorcerer. Oh no. Dark Magic, Dark Exchange. Ooh, are they nerfing this? This ability and its morphs now have a 0.2 second animation blending time. All cast summon channels abilities have 2.2 seconds. I don't know. I think they should make it a little more because Dark Exchange is a pretty powerful ability. But whatever. Okay, so sorcerers got off a little easily. They didn't get any nerfs except for this like minor one. Templar, Ajax Spear Shards. The synergy from this ability and its morphs now restore stamina or magicka, whichever percentage is lower. The amount restored is now based on your character level. Ugh. Yeah, these are all pretty significant nerfs. The synergy also has a shared cooldown with Necrotic Orb. Unfortunately, I don't know what that cooldown is because I don't use that skill. Luminous Shards. This morph now causes the synergy to also restore an equal amount of magicka or stamina to the casting Templar with a 20-second cooldown. This reduces the need to have a Templar constantly feed stamina to your stamina DPS. Okay, Dawn's Wrath Eclipse. This ability and its morph now lasts for 3.5 seconds. Wow, down from 6. But it can be, oh, come on. It can be no longer removed with Break Free. Why? And after the effect ends, enemies will gain CC immune. That kind of sucks. I mean, did anybody really use this skill anyway? I don't know. Whatever. They should just delete it and put in a better skill. Power of the Light. Fixed an issue where the damage from this morph could be dodged. Ugh, I hate that skill. Purifying Light. Fixed an issue where the heal could not critically strike. Okay. Restoring Light. Okay, let's see. Mending. This passive now increases the healing done by restoring light by 6 and 12% based on the target's missing health. Up from 5 to 10%, so that's kind of a buff. That is a buff. A little bit of a buff. Repentance. This morph now restores health and stamina based on your character level. Ugh, instead of your max resource. That's a nerf. And it also restores stamina to the casting Templar, but continues to... Oh crap, so wow, that's a big nerf. It only restores stamina to the Templar casting it, not to anyone around. That kind of sucks. This will be a buff if your max stamina is below. Yeah, okay. Nobody has stamina that low, Zenimax. Nobody. Okay, so that sucks. I could see if people are upset about that. That does suck. Rush Ceremony. That's the heal, right? That's Breath of Life and Honor the Dead, I think. This ability and its morphs now heal friendly targets in a 180-degree cone in front of you instead of all targets. Ooh, people are gonna be upset. I think that's great though, because Breath of Life is a very powerful heal. And I think it's actually good that you have to be careful about where you're casting it. You can't just mindlessly spam it now. You're actually gonna have to be like, okay, I have to make sure my allies are in front of me to heal them. So I like this nerf. I like this change. I think it's a very good change and it's much needed. Let's see what they say about it. It has an extremely potent heal, yeah. With goals like these we may, okay. This ability requires more strategic positioning, yeah. And gives you more control over who is healed. Yes, I agree with that. I think that's good. Sacred Ground, this passive now grants minor mending instead of major mending. Wow. Ooh, that's a nerf, okay. So I think now only wardens are gonna have major mending, which it's a little not really good. It kind of makes it seem like Warden's a little bit pay to win. I don't want to say it's definitely pay to win, but it seems more appealing now because they have way better passives than the other classes. I don't agree with that. Okay, now we're on to the weapon skill lines, the weapon changes. Two-handed reverse slash. Reduce the cost of this ability and its morphs by 27%. I think that's the AoE one. Oh wait, no, sorry. That's for all morphs. Okay. Why? I mean, okay. I guess they didn't really need to nerf it, but like Executioner is a pretty strong execute. But whatever, I'm not really opposed to that change. Dual wield twin slashes increase the cost of this ability and its morphs by 60%. Wow. That's a big that's a big nerf. Bow rapid fire updated the visual effect. Fix an issue where this ability and its morphs would ignore. Yeah, good, because a few times I would try to get line of sight when I'm being hit by that, and it would still hit me through the tree or whatever, so I think that's good. Volley increased the cost of this ability and its morphs by 30. Wow. I don't know, I mean, if they do the CP changes and these like class sustain or the cost nerfs, that's kind of a lot. Wow. Okay, armor, light armor. Swap the evocation and recovery passives in the skill line window. Evocation. This is now a 2-point passive, originally 3-point. It now restores the cost of your magic abilities by 1 and 2% per piece of light armor, down from 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's a slight nerf. Recovery. This is now a 3-point instead of a 2-point, and it increases your magic recovery by 2, 3, and 4% instead of 2 and 4. Okay, so there's like, they nerf the reduction of your cost of magic abilities, if I'm saying that correctly. They buffed the magic recovery that you get with light armor, but they nerfed the cost reduction. Okay. I don't see why, because light armor and medium armor were in a bad place compared to heavy armor. But I haven't seen what they're going to do with heavy armor yet, so let's keep reading. Medium armor, Windwalker. This passive now reduces the cost of your stamina abilities by 1 and 2% down. Why did they nerf it? Why did they nerf it? People weren't even really using medium armor. Alright. Heavy armor, Constitution. Reduce the magic and stamina restored by this passive by, wow, 42%. RIP. That's a good change though, because heavy armor, like, it was being abused. Almost everybody was in heavy armor, so I think that's a good change. Thumbs up, I agree with it. So now if people want to sustain, they pretty much need to be in medium or light armor. Okay, World, Soul Magic, Shatter, Soul Fixin', okay, whatever. What? It could still be removed by Purge. You know, Soul Assault is ridiculous. That they need to have more counterplay on that ability because it's just like, if your target is low enough health, it's an I win button pretty much. Undaunted. Okay, now we're in the guild skills. Undaunted, Mystic Orb. This morph now increases the damage of the damage that the orb deals, and Necrotic Orb. The synergy from this ability now restores stamina or magicka to the synergy user, whichever percentage is lower. The amount restored is now based on your character level. Oh, of course, instead of your max resource. That kind of sucks. This allows other classes other than Templar to bring a powerful restore synergy to the group. I mean, I kind of understand. It's cool because now you can have other classes. It's like you don't need a Templar, but I don't know. It's like, well, why run a Templar then? They used to be the dedicated healing and like kind of resource restoring class, and now they're just like, they're okay. Maybe we can bring a Templar along. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, Alliance War, Assault, Vigor, increase the cost of this ability and its morphs by approximately 30%. Heck yeah, I'm happy about that. I don't know, like, I don't know how much you guys PvP who are listening to this, but stamina has everything. I know people say magicka is overpowered. Nuh-uh. Stamina had heavy armor, it had damage, it had healing. So something needed to go, and I'm glad Vigor was increased. I'm glad the cost increased. And they said here, Vigor was too cheap for an area of effect healing ability, so they increased the cost. Yes. Caltrops. Wow. Okay, what did they say about that? Multiple player characters can now stack this ability and its morph in the same area. Wow. So you're going to see a lot more caltrops on breaches and stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's cool. I guess it's kind of cool that they're making caltrops relevant again, because I think they nerfed it and people don't really use it that much unless you run in a Zerg, so that's cool. Reduce the size of this ability and its morphs to 8 meters from 12. Reduce the duration to 12 from 30. Reduce the cost by 50%. I remember it was a pretty expensive skill, so I'm okay with these changes. And increase the damage, wow, by 75%. Okay. I'm gonna see how it plays out. It doesn't seem like a bad change to me. What do they say about it? They wanted to behave like a standard group targeted damage over time ability, like Lightning Splash. Okay, so I guess they wanted to make it viable, like compared to the other skills. Argonian, Resourceful. This passive ability now restores health, magic, and stamina based on your character level instead of... Is that a nerf? Instead of your max resource? Oh, this will be a buff if your maximum is below. Okay, so that actually might be a nice buff because 38,500 is kind of a high number. I mean, I know a lot of people can reach that, but for an Argonian, it might be difficult actually to reach that amount. So I think that's a buff. That seems pretty nice. Yeah, because I know when I had an Argonian, I don't think I reached 38,000. So okay, that seems pretty nice. Redguard skills, Adrenaline Rush. This passive ability now restores stamina based on your character. Ooh, that's a nerf instead of your max stamina. This will be a buff if you're max. Wow, below. Who the heck is below 15,000? Are they serious? I know that's a nerf, but I'm kind of happy because Redguard was like the mandatory stamina class, so I kind of understand how they had to do that so people would choose other classes instead. But that's kind of significant. I feel bad for people that have Redguards as their main character. Alright, I think I'm going to end this part here because I'm starting to lose my voice. So hopefully, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue going through these patch notes. If people want me to, I will. So I don't know, leave a comment if you want me to continue going through these patch notes. If not, if like nobody really cares, then I probably won't bother. But yeah, I'll see. Maybe I'll feel like it later. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a thumbs up and leave me a comment below giving me your thoughts on the patch notes. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Let me know. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!